Hi everyone, it's Erin from EB Mixed Media. I am back to do another video and I'm going to be working in my journal again today. And today I'm going to go back and do some more playing with color and color theory. I have another video that I did where I used this Palette Scout, which is sort of a color theory card deck. And a lot of you seem to like it, so I thought I would do that again. To help guide me as I pick out different colors and maybe go get a little edgy and try something different. And then the other thing I wanted to do was I have a few videos as well where I played this sort of drawing game and let these cards dictate what I would do next, what medium I would use, what color and what technique I would use. So I'm going to go ahead and choose my colors using Palette Scout, and then I'm going to let these cards dictate what I actually do on the page in what order I do it. So that's going to be the challenge today. So in looking through the box of colors, I was really kind of drawn to these two colors. And these, the box labels as the color garnet. And every color, I think there are 18 in the box, has 5 cards that go with it. And these go from pure intensities to tones. And so garnet's pure intensity is this card right here. And then if you add black to it, you get these darker colors. And if you add white to that color, you get these lighter colors. And then if you flip this over and add gray to the color, then you get this more muted palette, right? So I was really liking these two colors. So I'm going to set those aside. And then on the back of the little guide for each color are palette ideas. And so I love to work in this analogous color family with oranges and yellows and pinks. And those are the colors that are kind of next to each other on the color wheel. But what I'm going to try today is do this split complement. And when you look at these colors together, I'm kind of like, bleh, I don't like that. But I am taking a shade of this, right, or a tone of this, which is these colors. And a split complementary means that the colors are, well, let me show it to you this way. To do a split complementary, you find your color on the color wheel, which here is our garnet, right? And it's denoted by the little triangle. You can see those triangles on those cards. And to do a split complementary, you go across to the complementary color. And the complementary color for garnet is this pine color. But for split complementary, you don't choose that color. You choose the color on either side of it. So in this case, the box calls this one Ocean, and this one is called Quetzal, Quetzal. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. I don't know why they use these names, but anyway. So it's this ocean color and this kind of green color. So let's take a look at the ocean color. So here are the ocean colors. This is the pure intensity here. And then these two are with the black added, and these two are with the white added. Sorry, those two. And then if we flip them over where you can see gray is added, they're much more subtle. So in looking at these with these, right, I'm kind of liking that. I'm kind of liking that. I think those are nice together, right? So those look cool. And then the other color again is this green color. So let's take a look at this. And so here's this kind of bright green, sort of grass green. And then we have these other shades or tones. And then on the back, we can see what we have with the gray added. And I think this is cool. And I think that's cool. So it's a pretty subtle but very sophisticated color palette. So I think I'm going to kind of try to work with these. And as long as I stay within these 3 cards, anything I pick, there's much brighter, will go together, right? It doesn't matter. As long as you stay within those 3 card families, you're going to have a good result. Okay? So I'll post again. I'll connect to the other video which explains this in a little more detail, and we'll get started from there. Okay. And now I'm going to rely on this little random game to tell me what to do on this page. So in each of these bowls, one bowl contains mediums. So things like gesso, powders, stencils, sprays. Let's see, what else do we have? Stamps, ink, watercolor, crayon, acrylic, pastels, pencils, and pens. So those are the different mediums. And then this is the technique on which how you lay it down on the page. So palette knife, mark making, your choice, texture paste, a brush, your fingers, splattering, or dripping. So those are how to put it down, okay? So, and normally I would have a bowl of colors as well, but I picked my colors out. So I'm gonna leave it at that. All right, I'll pick the color. That gives me a little more control, right? So let's get started, and we'll just start, and I'll reach in here and I'm not gonna look, and I've got sprays. That could be tricky because I don't have a lot of sprays. Okay, so let's pull one out here. Fingers. Oh, how am I gonna do that? Yikes. All right, let me go see what I've got for sprays. The one spray I have that I think will match, kind of, is called Abandoned Coral. It's a distressed oxide spray, and you can see, you know, it's in the same color family. So that's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to move these aside. And I'm going to have to figure out how I'm going to do this with my fingers. And so I'm going to set spray aside, I think, for now, but I might put fingers back in. We'll see. All right, so all I need to do here is some spraying on the page, and then I don't know, can I do this? What I could do is spray some water as well, and then maybe I can get it to move around a little bit more. Maybe, yeah. I don't know what that is. I've got a little purple that leaked through from another project, so we'll have to see what to do about that. Okay. All right, and I got spray. This is what you want to be careful about. I got spray all over my stuff here. The fun thing about this game is I pull out supplies that I don't use a lot. I don't use my sprays a lot, so that was fun to get that out and mess with it. Okay, pastels. And a palette knife. Well, how are we going to do that? Let's see. Oh, I know. These are pastel chalks that I got in Denmark, so I'm just going to pull these out and see. And I'm thinking this is another good one. These actually look like they really do match these cards really well. So I think that's a good fit. But I'm wondering about this green. Might be a little too yellowy. So let's try those. And let me get my palette knife. So I've got a palette knife. It is covered with schmutz because I'm the worst about cleaning. And I'm going to take my X-Acto knife and just get some of this stuff down on the page here, like so. And then I'm going to spray it again. And then I can kind of move it maybe with the palette knife. It's not showing up much, is it? Maybe I need more. I wonder if I color. We'll just experiment and see. It's moving a little bit, not a lot. I've done this technique with gesso, and that works a lot better than the water, but gesso is one of the mediums, I think, or something, so I won't pull that out yet. All right. Well, that's something. Let's keep going. All right. What's this one? Texture paste. Oh, no. Let's see. And ink. Okay. I completely forgot to turn the camera on. I apologize. So I've taken some of this light and fluffy modeling paste from the Crafter's Workshop, and I've added just a tiny bit of this Dr. P.H. Martin's. It's a liquid acrylic. It's kind of like an ink in aqua. And I am mixing that up. I'm just making a little bit more here. The color isn't quite right. When you look at our ocean, it's not 100% right, but it actually is. It just matches the more pure form. So I'm mixing that up, and I've got a stencil here, and I'm just adding it in a few spots here. So this exercise, this game is also an exercise in layering and just building up on the page, and you basically keep playing it until you're happy with how it looks. Now, one thing you do want to do is clean off your stencil, because that texture paste will dry and it can gunk up your stencil and ruin it. So you'll want to take a minute to clean it after you're done, and you have to wait for this to dry anyway. So let's do that and then we'll get back. That's pretty dry now. I'm going to draw again. Okay, I'm not looking, I promise. A pencil or pen and splatters. Okay, that's tricky. I'm going to use a Posca pen. That way I can do splatters. I'm going to go ahead and do gold. Sure, gold. So a good way to get this to splatter is to prime it, and you prime it just by, doing this, and you can see it starts to come out. And then for the splatters, and again, you want to watch your area around your desk. Move these. You're just going to flick it, and you can see how those splatters are coming out. And I think it works better if it's newer, but just keep priming it. There we go. Okay. We dry that. Next, let's see. I don't even have these on camera, so. Okay, so this says marks and gesso. Oh, okay. Let's see. Let me get some gesso out here. I often like to make marks with a lid. This is off of a glue stick. So I'm just going to add these around the page. I like doing this. I do this a lot. If you watch me, you know that. That's fine, I guess. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and draw before I dry, and we'll see if I need to dry in between. Acrylic and drip. Okay, I think I want to dry. I really want to get some of the green in. So I've got this lime green, which is a little limier than that one, but we have to use what we have. And I'm going to add some gray. So I don't think we need a lot of gray. Oh, well, we don't need a lot of gray. And I'm going to add, I'll just get a brush here, I guess. So just take a tad of gray and try to tone this down quite a bit. This I need a little more than I thought. So see, that's taking it, it's not so, you know, electrifying and green. It's much more subtle. And then we also, on the card, it was like a 4 because they had added white. So we'll keep adding some white here. It's still not right though. Let me keep adding the gray. And a little more white. I'll just keep going here and see if I can't get it. I think that's getting a lot closer. Can you see that? This could be a disaster, guys. I don't know about these colors together. Palette Scout says it's right. That's pretty, It's not super close, is it? Well, I'm just going to give it a shot here. All right, so the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to add a little bit of water to kind of water this down. And then I'm going to kind of go across the top here a little bit. And drip. I've got water on my brush and I'm just trying to get a drip to come down the page here, and it doesn't seem to want to drip very much. It's sort of doing it. I'll put a little more across. More water. Oh shoot, am I not even on camera? Ah, nuts. I don't think I was. Well, this is what I was doing. There we go. Okay. I don't like that. This is always where I start to say I don't like this game. All right, let's keep going. Stencils. And a brush. Okay. That's kind of more of a technique, isn't it? I don't know. That doesn't seem right. So I'm going to grab some acrylic and do that. So what color am I going to go in with to kind of fix this? I think I'm going to try to make something like this. I guess I can try and use a brush with the stencil. Let's see. That's pretty close. Okay. I've never done this. Let's see how it goes, right? I'm gonna kind of get it dried off a little bit. I don't like that. I don't like how it's working at all. So my game, my journal page, I'm going to give up the idea of using a brush and go back to my little sponge, makeup sponge. I can't really see much of that. I thought it might show up because it was lighter, but it's not really. I'm trying though to push some of that green into the background. Oh my gosh, guys, I really don't like this. What a hot mess. I don't know how that looks on camera, but it looks awful in person. So the only thing left in this container is your choice. So I am going to go back to stencils, and I have mixed up this color of garnet because I feel like I need some kind of a contrast. So that's just red and black. And I'm scaring myself, but I'm going to try this. This, again, I say this a lot. This video may never see the light of day. We shall see. I find a lot of times numbers and letter stamps can really salvage a page, especially if you're willing to be brave and put them on in some really dark colors. They're just a really cool graphic element that, I don't know, it's scary, but it can really make a page pop. And this is looking a little better, I think. I think. I'm probably overdoing it. Okay, let's draw again. I don't know, folks. More pastels. I'm not doing that again. I just pulled palette knife again. I'm not doing that. Pastels and splatters. Let me look through my pastels here. That might be interesting. So I'm wondering again, I'll get my X-Acto knife and shave it here a bit. Add some water. And I got my fan brush. That's kind of cool. That's not quite right, but that's pretty good. What else? Let's see. I might do one more step and we'll see. My choice. Ooh. Powders. So I've got some of these perfect pearls. I think I might try this. I think I might just try and So this is dry. Ooh, I put that in on a big lump there. I didn't mean to do that. This is just getting some more gold on here. Which could be fun, I think. So one thing I'd like to do is go back and put these white stamp marks in, markings, because they really got pushed to the back, and I think we need the contrast popping out and not back in the background. Everything got put over the top of it. So oftentimes when I don't love a page, I try to distract from it by adding florals or adding some other element on top that kind of pushes that background into the back. So I've got this one floral here, and I thought I might try and make a few more. Ooh, that's got color in it. Nuts. And I think, so I'm going to try to make some similar looking floral here. And I kind of think all I did was sort of I need more gesso and lighten that up. I think that's about all I did, was just sort of paint this out into a sort of a starburst. Maybe I'll make some that are just not quite as large. I can do one more here. I have some leftover green from earlier. Okay, so I've got my jelly roll pen, which is a Sakura jelly roll pen. This is dry, and these are super easy to do, and I'm just kind of gonna make a little wet there in that spot there. So just sort of freehanding the petals. Like so. And they can be a little wonky. It doesn't matter. And these will be a little bit smaller. I like to make a few so I have some to choose from. I always say this, the looser I think you are, the better they look. They just look more organic, a little bit wonky, perfectly imperfect, and I just love that look. And then I sort of go back in and add some accents here. You can add some more in different places as well. If you want to. Here. What I think really makes it kind of fun is to go around it in the gold. And this just adds another pop. I just love how that looks. And this is my Sparkle Pop pen from Pentel. And then we can go in with some yellow, and I just add dots basically. For these, it's also kind of fun to add a little pink. And then when that's dry, add a little white accent. And then we'll cut those out. So I have my florals all cut out here, except for one. I think 4 is going to be enough. And I sort of was looking back through my original colors, and one color I really didn't incorporate was this one. And I even kind of added this in as well, right? So I kind of feel like I want to get that in, and I've got just a piece of paper here with some raindrops that I think sort of pulls that color in. And I've got my florals, and then I've got this cute little like sewing pattern lady, Gwen Offit, who has an Etsy shop, and I'll link her in the description box. Occasionally has these for sale in her Etsy shop, and she mounts them to cardstock and cuts them out for you. So they're super reasonably priced, and they're just, I think they're super fun. So I think I'm gonna put her in. I've just been playing with these, and I just love them. I think they're so cute. I'm gonna kind of, I don't know, circle those a little bit. I added a little blush to her face and a little headband and her hat there. So, and you know what I might even do? You know how some of the ladies would wear a ring on their finger on the outside of their gloves? That's kind of fun. Maybe we do that. All right, so I was sort of thinking of just having this going across the page. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. Let's see. I lost my glue stick. So I think I'll just have it coming down like so. It's not sticking because of the texture paste, I think, is making it kind of hard for it to stick. Favorite page, guys, but I'm gonna make the best of it. And I was thinking of having her kind of maybe like that, and then having these kind of coming in over here like so. That's sort of what I was thinking. So let's glue all that down. telling you, whenever you don't like a page, if you just cover it with florals, you can really salvage it. It's my go-to. I don't totally hate the page. It's just not really what I don't know what I was going for. I didn't really have a game plan, but this wasn't necessarily it. Let's just say that. Let's see, do I want to do this? I think so. All right, my hands are covered in glue. Also wondering about taking my little sparkle pen and maybe doing an outline on just one side of these raindrops as if the light is kind of hitting it. You know, it's always fun to try new colors and try different colors together. And as much as I like the colors on the cards, I don't think it worked on this page. I don't know if I just kind of wasn't blending them the right way, or the balance was off, or what, but not a huge fan. How about this, darling? You are a work of art. All right, that was kind of arduous, I think, but it's okay. It turned out okay in the end. I think Gwen's little sewing pattern lady sort of makes it, and I do like how the flowers turned out as well. So, all right, that's all for me today. I will be back again sometime soon with another video. In the meantime, you can always find me on Instagram at eb_mixedmedia. Thanks all. Bye.